But my promise to you folks is to go where my mind takes me. Imagine that heaven did exist, all right? And therefore, it is the promised land of those who follow the covenant get into heaven, all right? Now, one of the criteria for that is that you're not going to get access to heaven because you were sure heaven existed and therefore followed the prescriptions. Wouldn't you want people to follow the prescriptions without knowing that heaven truly exists in order to have access to such a world? If such a world did exist, you wouldn't want people in there who merely acted morally because they wanted to get in heaven. That wouldn't be moral, is what Kant demonstrated, right? It needs to come from the goodwill, the duty to the moral law for the sake of the duty itself. Hello everyone, and welcome to HD Philosophy Plays Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, episode 11. Now, actually, it's been quite some time since I jumped on this game. You know, it's been end of the semester, but I'm not going to make any excuses. I probably could have found time for it. I'll just be honest, I'm kind of wavering in my motivation to keep these things up. But I want to be able to finish, so, you know, like I often tell my kids, if something is worth doing, you're going to waver in your motivations. And there are going to be times where you're not going to want to jump on the game or jump on whatever you're trying to do. Move forward with whatever you want to do. And you're going to have to push past that in order to accomplish something, in order to finish it. Because most jobs or most goals, you're going to have certain hurdles. And it's like, if I can push past that hurdle, well, that becomes kind of like a gold star. Let me explain it this way. When I was teaching middle school, we had assigned Lord of the Rings. And this was the time during the Kilauea lava flow. And the school I taught was actually one of the ones that was ran over by the lava. So I actually worked in the facility when we were having these minor earthquakes, about 20 or so per hour. It was kind of crazy. I remember every Friday there was a guest speakers that would come in from Kamehameha schools that would speak to my class. And I remember calling them and asking if they were going to come down on one particular Friday. And they said it's too dangerous to send their personnel down there. And I'm looking at like 25 plus students that were in front of me at the time. And I'm like, it's too dangerous for you adults. But then I have a classroom full of students here. Anyway, suffice it to say, the lava ran over that school. And we were forced to relocate, and we ended up going to a Boys and Girls Club. But there was a big gap in between that relocation and getting all of these students into the Boys and Girls Club. Now, as you can imagine, we were, as I said, reading The Lord of the Rings, and a lot of the students could have easily said, it's been such a hectic year that let's just call it like this, and nobody would blame us for giving up. And this is what I told them. Nobody will blame you folks, this class, for giving up. However, if you finish The Lord of the Rings, it was the Fellowship of the Ring, which was assigned to them throughout the year, which we would read together every single day and go over kind of the symbolism or the choices, the symbolism as well as the choices the author made with particular characters, you know, because middle school standards really focus a lot on theme and why the author chooses to go one direction or another. And so I told them, nobody will blame you folks for giving up right here. Our school got ran over by a lava flow. We've had to relocate. We could just take it easy the rest of the year and call it like that. Or you could say that I finished what we started. We finished what we set out to accomplish, even in the midst of a lava flow. And when I heard that, they would be able to carry that gold star with them through the rest of their life. That come hell or high water, they finished what they set out to do in the beginning of the year. Even when the lava hit their class and they lost about a month and a half of school, they still finished what they set out to do. They all unanimously voted, let's finish what we started, mister. And that's what we ended up doing. And what is amazing about that is that now they can carry that through the rest of their lives when they think about giving up, when they think that it's too much and they're going to stop. Well, now they have this other hill. They have this thing to point to in their past that says, look, I got over that hill right there. And I can kind of compare it to the hill that I'm seeing right now. Isn't it incredible how when you overcome a hurdle, it becomes like a gold star, a shining star in your future motivations. So if you easily fall to something so minuscule, well, then you have to ask yourself, will I ever have become a master of that particular goal anyway? Because this little minuscule thing was one of the small hurdles that I would have had to overcome in order to accomplish that goal. And this is the one that took me down. There was no way I was going to become a master, because I could foresee many other hurdles of much more complex hurdles down the line that would have just tripped me up, but I would have given up, because this minuscule one I gave up. But if you overcome that one, now you kind of raise your threshold on your willingness to give up, or the scenarios of which you would give up. You kind of raise that threshold in your mind. And it's just, I found that so incredible at my middle schoolers. To bring it back, it's like, yeah, I could have stuck to it, but my motivation is kind of waning. But it's kind of what it made me think of, as we were going along. So let's continue where we left off. Let me bring the desktop audio up, and let's get into it. All right, there we go. Yeah, best way to earn respect is by pounding it out of the people, right? Okay, let's assess. I'm gonna guess lightning, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. When he gets up, he hits. Let's... No, you don't have it, but you'll have Firebolt Blade. It's a good thing she stepped back, right? Does she have it? No. Let's haste her, though. Alright, so you don't want to stand there and get hit by that. Oh shoot, I did not see that. Oh, that's right. Move back. Ah, I didn't move back fast enough. Jeez. I keep forgetting that one. Okay, I need to cure some people here. Boom! Let's get Tifa. No. Aerith?
It's your turn now.
Not bad. Let's get back. So I don't understand. Where did it go? Not Leviathan. I thought I made her Healing Wind. However, you have Ramu, so...
Get him.
That'll help us. Let's do counterfire.
It's your turn. Can you take over for me?
That was good. Bravo. Oh, robot's thinking for itself. Yeah, just keep hitting them. Sometimes I wonder if it's even worth going after, like, the left leg, right leg, all that stuff, you know?
Why don't you lead the way?
Oh, stun ray.
So it's my turn? Get him! Yeah! Go on! Can you take over for me?
Wow. That was a pretty hell of a combo right there. Boom. How's that for weakness? Leapfrog, huh? Yeah, I had a feeling. Like, I had a feeling that was immediately going to knock him out of it. And then he, as soon as I'm like, okay, let me... Jesus. She cannot get away.
Shake it off, okay?
It's on you.
I'll show you what I can do.
No, she needs to start healing. Let's get Cloud.
Why don't you lead the way?
That's crazy. Where it takes so long. Okay, do you have a cure? You do. Let's get Aerith.
I'm coming!
Oh, I tried to block. Yeah, that one hit. So many.
We gotta get through this. Too right?
Oh my god, man.
Over here.
I've been trying to stun him.
I'll do what I can. Can you handle it? You're up.
Let's do this.
Oh gosh, she's gonna be crushed. Finally staggered.
Sorry. Let's finish. Now's a chance. I'm feeling pretty weak. That'll do.
Cool. Oof. I tried to block, but I was in the middle of a dash, and the dash animation in this takes forever, so...
Keep it together.
Here goes. Can you take over for me? Here he comes. What in the? Good luck.
Let's do this. It's on you.
I should probably heal up first. You're still doing
My
okay,
take?
right? Oh, just a little.
Of course. I'm gonna have to find a much more intricate way to play this. Maybe setting up things with Aerith.
We gotta go. They'll be on us any minute.
They're on us now.
Wait, didn't he fall? Now they're back. He carried him back there or something? Oh, wait, no, that was a flashback. Hello. Oh, man. Kate Sith?
Fear not, friends.
No, deal.
Your chariot awaits.
I just saw a big thing in there.
I've been using this to eavesdrop. You can never be too careful. But you were innocent, and I was wrong. By way of apology, I give you this.
Land Rover.
You will receive a proper burial, I promise you.
Thanks.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Is this not a bit much, sir?
The safety of my every guest is paramount. I don't know what happened in Midgar, but to me it matters not. You're always welcome, my friend.
Okay. Does anyone know how to drive this thing?
Leave it to me, lass.
Barrett.
He said he wanted me to live with the guilt.
Well, we're here for you.
To help take the load off, huh?
I mean it, man.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you might.
Come on.
Looks like this
You know, when I think about this, one of the things that you shoulder when you try to avoid avoiding is seeking out the retribution. So right there, the guy died and said, "No, you're going to live with this guilt right there," and he died. And I'm not going to give you closure. And that way, that person is always with him. You know, in this case, it's Barrett, right? So this person's always going to be with him, kind of haunting over the shoulder. And it's kind of tragic because the guy's dead. There's no way to find retribution anymore. No, I mean, you might be able to find retribution, but closure is the word I'm looking for. There's no way to find closure anymore. And it's like, that's why you need to take the time that you have to try to make amends. Because if you think about it, if you think of like the 12-step programs and things like that, there's always this aspect of making amends. Because you need to close out the things of which are haunting or plaguing your soul. And a lot of it is guilt. Guilt for a past transgression or whatever it may be. But if the person dies, well, then that's it. There goes your ability to seek out closure. You know, some places or some cultures have rituals that allow you to ritualize a getting over or closure that this person might have on you. I think of the when you lose somebody and you never get the closure of their death, there's that lantern thing. Beautiful tradition or ritual, especially here in Hilo, the Lantern Festival. It's a ritual that is hallowed with the community coming together in a joined collective intent within the ritual itself that is made to alleviate those burdens right there, you know? So, twofold here. One, if you wait too long, you risk never finding the closure. If you wait too long, you risk always holding on to that guilt and that person forever being a part of your life right there. This is why victims often seek out the perpetrators and tell them, "I forgive you." Not necessarily for the perpetrator, but for the victim, to say, "I'm no longer allowing you to have control over my life in this particular way." You know? So that's the one instance, that don't wait too long, because then you risk forever holding on to that guilt. So again, seek out what you've been avoiding, so that way those sins no longer have control over you. And the second route is, with this increasing secularization of our world, we are getting rid of these rituals that allow people to wash the blood on their hands, to quote Nietzsche when he said in The Death of God, "Who will wash our hands any further? Who will be able to cleanse our hands now?" We risk getting rid of all of these rituals that are there for a reason. You know, one of them being to add closure when the minimum, or the mortality comes in of death, where you've waited too long, and yet you don't want to let this act carry its burden on top of you for the rest of your life. You know, so we are getting rid of these rituals, so that way you only have the latter option. You know, and it's kind of sad. I won't go into. I could go off on the postmodern secularization and what we're losing in that. I could go on that for hours. But particularly here, when it comes to Barrett and Dio, you know, Dio said, "I'm not going to give you." What was it, Dio? It wasn't Dio, right? It was the other one. His mind, his name escapes my mind now. But Barrett didn't know this guy still existed. And then when he saw him, it was just like all of that came crashing down. He was back in that instance where the transgression occurred. And instead of letting Barrett off the hook, he was like, "Nah, you're going to carry this guilt right here." Now, there may be a positive in it where, no. I'm not going to let you off the hook because you have way too many responsibilities from your transgression that you need to take care of. So there's maybe that aspect as well. And that could happen when you seek out your retribution, when you try to make amends. A person might tell you, look, I understand you want to make amends, but there are many things you need to do in order to make amends. Like, I forgive you, but there's a lot of other things that need to occur as well for you to make amends. You need to build back these bridges that you torn down. You need to fix the things that you broke, and then truly then will you make amends. So it could be in that aspect where he was telling Barrett, no, your decision had way too many destructive branches. You need to fix those before you can be let off the hook. So you live with that guilt. You live with that burden until these things are fixed. So that could be the other way of seeing it as well. But I just wanted to take the time because I feel like a lot of us believe that those individuals will always be there. You know, that the people you have transgressed against, that weight of that sin is something you're carrying for the rest of your life unless you seek them out. And you always have this idea of, well, there's always tomorrow. They'll be here tomorrow. Well, what if they're not here tomorrow? What if they're not here tomorrow and you lost your ability to make amends, so now you have to carry that sin? It's like, how many sins are you going to be able to carry before your life is just destroyed, chaotic, in shambles, you know? How many of them? I'm sure there's a finite amount. Can you carry before your entire life implodes in upon itself? That's why people seek out psychiatrists and therapists and things like that. Human engineers who ask you questions to dig back in your past and figure out where things went wrong in order to make amends on these certain things. Put these things to rest right here, you know? So, I mean, I guess I'm kind of giving an advice, you know. So if I am giving advice, it's just that. Don't wait for too long, because if you wait for too long, then that's a sin or a burden that you may carry for the rest of your life because you lost the opportunity to make amends and find closure. And as we move much more to a secular system, we are losing the rituals that would allow you to do that after the fact, after the death of that individual, in order to unlift that burden. You know, we're quickly doing away with all the rituals that would allow you to do that in the first place. So you are merely left with the finite time here in the world in order to make amends and thus lift those burdens.
Now's your chance. Leave this riffraff to me.
See, this is the other guy. Forget his name.
Time to get the blood pumping. Yeah.
Yeah, only in a video game. Although there are some, I remember seeing that, like the skinny Russian guy, I want to say, that could like lift all those things, because the muscles that these powerlifters have, some of them were just for show.
You said. I got this.
Minigame. Yeah. Aim with the left. Toggle aim speed with the L3. Steer, fire, reload, overcharge. I don't have unlimited bullets, so. There we go. Ooh, nice little flick right there. Might as well reload. Okay, I see it. The toggling. That would have been the time to use that. Overcharge. See, I'm taking way too many hits because I chose to use the recharge, the overcharge on those guys. Now I have overcharge set. Oh, come on. You're staying. You stayed out of the range. You stayed out of my shot. Yep. You stayed out of my freaking... It's so frustrating. So wait, I can control the vehicle like this? Oh, good lord. I just saw that. Control the vehicle. Oh, great. There we go. Oh, yeah, the lock-on is so good in this game. Right. I literally was holding it. Like, it wouldn't let me move it. Ah, boy. I would just want to restart the escape sequence. From the beginning of what? The escape sequence or the boss fight? Before the escape? No. God. Lock on, thank you. Move that, thank you. Yeah, you can't. I can't. Almost. Okay, so first one's gonna be the middle one. Boom, boom, and the move. Oh, still got hit. Great. Awesome. probably why I feel like this is why I stopped playing. I do not find this game to be fun. But then again, I always have those feelings throughout these kind of games too, though. Like, I remember having this same feeling when I was playing Lies of P.
Hang on tight. Oh shit.
Then again, Lies of P's story was so great that I was like, no, I gotta keep going. I gotta find out how this ends. This one's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this isn't very good as far as like a deep story. Maybe we've matured more nowadays. But if the story was a good payoff, maybe it'd feel worth it. But so far, it hasn't been a very good payoff. Dine. Dine was his name.
Long past time my little girl knew the truth.
He left the picture there. So
That ought to do it.
If you don't mind my saying, you're in an awfully good mood.
Well, it's been productive.
now Reeve. That song.
Don't have too much fun.
Reeve has been one of the ones who was like, are you insane? You want to drop the Sector 7 plate? Like, are we the baddies?
You called, sir?
What is the status of the Ancient?
We still have eyes on her.
Is she looking for the Promised Land?
We don't believe so.
I see.
Is she a higher priority than the materia?
Not her so much as her birthright. It's a dream of mine, to see it with my own eyes.
Understood. We'll step up surveillance.
How's that for differences though? Like there's just a subtle difference, you know, between what is the promised land of milk and honey, and the promised land. The promised land is a covenant between individuals where certain criteria is met, then you find that land. The other one could just be some type of utopian that you could never get to. Like, there is no promise that you'll get there. It's like you just in that subtle little difference there, the promise land. To me, it just seems much more not hypothetical, but it could be heaven, but you are not promised access to it. You know, but if it is the promised land, I feel like in that sense, there's a covenant that if you follow certain criteria, then you'll enter its gates. You know, I could be reading too much into that right there, but when he said it right there, that's what kind of popped in my mind. The difference between a promised land and the promised land.
It's a dream of mine. How cute.
Who are you? Really?
Oh, come on. You know me. And I know you, Mr. President. You and your fears. Still just a child, aren't you? A pig-headed, pathetic, daddy-hating child.
It's like it's Cloud's father.
And under that bratish exterior, loneliness.
I don't deny it. Why would I? It's brought me all this.
Now that's the spirit I'm looking for. We really need more people like you. To give the world a shot in the arm.
Vaccine reference?
What do you truly want?
Probably not. They mean like a wake-up call, right? Oh, back to... Yeah, Zach.
Let's start this manhunt.
Popular today.
According to experts from Shinra's Research and Development Division, the radiation emitted by the rift has no effect whatsoever.
Know this guy?
Never seen him.
I wonder what somebody who hasn't actually ever seen them would say, you know? I kind of feel like somebody who says never seen him is like, never seen him? Oh, I have no idea who that is. But even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Familiar to you?
Nope, sorry.
See, that seems legitimate.
Well, isn't that just perfect? Things.
Hey there. You seen anyone who looks like this?
Well, right?
Pretty
Yep.
hunt.
Punched a hole through his face.
Why don't we all go?
Have you seen anybody who looks like this? Pow!
Shit. Think that's Avalanche?
Could be.
Better check it out.
That was the church.
Oh, what?
Ah, the church.
Can't we have a moment's peace?
Who says you're owed a moment of peace? Peace is earned.
Is that? There's our man.
I swear they hinted that Jessie was still alive at the end of the other one, but we haven't seen hide nor hair of her since.
Pardon me? So where are we bound this fine day?
South. Far south.
And what's there?
Reminds me of Chekhov's gun, you know?
For real, that's what. Now step on it.
Wait, in what act did you show us that she might be possibly alive? And what chapter are we on right? Chapter 9 without hide nor hair.
Hey, RoboCat. You act all buddy-buddy, but we don't know a thing about you. Let's fix that.
wants to know. I'm a 9-to-5 nobody at a small Shinra subsidiary. Another paper shuffling, copy pasting forwarder of emails.
Another Shinra lapdog.
Black cat.
My mistake.
But you lot are special. Properly special. Never met a specialer group of people in all my life. How could I not tag along?
How can I not tag along? Bullshit.
Come now, this is a road trip. We should be bonded, not fighting.
Barrett, promise me you won't take down Scarlet unless I'm there with you.
Scarlet shot at me and my best friend.
Promise. If you don't give up the ghost right here and now, that is.
I won't let some stupid guard
Although I think it killed her friend, right? Yeah.
before I punch that witch right in the mouth. Oh, that's it. I can't.
Just wait. We'll find somewhere to. Pull over. Shit's about to pop.
Wait, Lassie! Not in the buggy! Not in the buggy!
Just sprawled out.
Feeling any better? Leave me.
Where to now? We don't have any leads. And driving in circles, hoping to spot a black robe is...
The worst idea ever!
When you don't know where life's leading, you should get yourself a reading!
Ooh.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Your lucky food is mushrooms.
Mushrooms, eh? Mushrooms. Wait! Bad. You mentioned something earlier about the Corel reactor, did you not? You saw a weapon there, right?
Yeah, but I don't recall.
So there's something interesting about prophecy here, right? It's like you could hear something as nonsensical as like your favorite food is mushrooms. And then you start thinking, like, what does mushrooms mean? What do mushrooms mean? And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. That thing did look like a mushroom. Maybe that's where we're supposed to head right there. And it's like, well, you know, aren't you just reading too much into it? And I'm like, well, the purpose of a symbol could be not to give you necessarily guidance, but possibly to put you into a area where you'll search through, humble yourself that you don't know the answers, and then start seeking and asking something for guidance. And it could be the most nonsensical thing to get you there, but it's not the point of the nonsensical. So let's say this thing spits out prophecy X, all right? And it doesn't, we don't even need to know the context of it. But the prophecy X, whatever the combination of words it is, it just puts you in a place where you're like, prophecy X. And you start thinking, and you're asking the world for information, and then you're kind of looking around and trying to find guidance. And you're like, there's where we should go right there, and you head that way. Now, what's the difference between that and kind of what I just went through when I was like, what is that person's name? I called him Dio, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, I can't figure out his name. Oh, never mind. I'll just continue with it. And then Barrett starts talking about him, you know, looks down and starts talking about him. And I look at Barrett and I'm watching this and I'm like, that's his name right there. Was the name in the recesses of my subconscious? Like, where was the name? If it was in my mind, why couldn't I bring it forward? You know, if it was in my brain, why couldn't I bring it forward to recall it? It was almost like the outside world informed me because I put myself in a particular place to receive the information. So maybe that's the point of prophecy. Maybe that's the point of the reading or something like that. To put you in the particular framework so that you can find the answer, or you're open to the answer, receiving the answer from the outside world. You know? I have a lot of theories when it comes to morality, for example. I take a much more Kantian look at morality nowadays. I mean, one of the journals that I'm writing, one of the ones that I'm going to submit to an academic journal that I'm writing, is a Copernican revolution type of outlook. For those who don't know, a Copernican revolution for Kant is basically saying, what are the prereqs necessary for a thing? So not necessarily arguing for a thing, but arguing that if the thing did exist, what would it look like? So I'm more of a descriptive account of something rather than a prescriptive account of something. I'm describing what would necessarily need to follow. Kant's entire moral apparatus follows this kind of hypothetical argumentation, and that's why the Copernican revolution is often cited with that Kantian mind. It's not that morality does exist, although he does believe there's good evidence for not only morality and God, not only morality to exist, but God as well. He says, if morality is to exist, what would it look like? And that's where he gets his categorical imperative. That's where he concludes that the faculty of rationality is not what leads to happiness. He seems to imply it was a faculty embedded by God, allowing us to see or understand the moral order that exists in the world. Kind of the, what do they call it? I think Jones talks about this in Biblical Ethics. He talks about this as general revelation. So like the natural order in the world that exists, that we find God. Well, Immanuel Kant was like, reason, our faculty of reason is what allows us access to that general revelation. So bringing it all the way back, because I kind of went down a few avenues right there. There is this idea that maybe we're not supposed to know exactly that morality exists. Maybe we're not supposed to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that heaven exists. Why? And this is where I'm trying to be a little bit more novel than I normally do. I'm sharing what I'm trying to study right now. So, if somebody wants to, could possibly take it and run with it and then pass it off as their own. But my promise to you folks is to go where my mind takes me. Imagine that heaven did exist, all right? And therefore, it is the promised land of those who follow the covenant get into heaven, all right? Now, one of the criteria for that is that you're not going to get access to heaven because you were sure heaven existed and therefore followed the prescriptions. Wouldn't you want people to follow the prescriptions without knowing that heaven truly exists in order to have access to such a world? If such a world did exist, you wouldn't want people in there who merely acted morally because they wanted to get in heaven. That wouldn't be moral, is what Kant demonstrated, right? It needs to come from the goodwill, the duty to the moral law for the sake of the duty itself. Not because what I'm owed, not because of what it leads to. If I'm doing it for my own selfish gains, that's not morality. I need to be doing it for the duty itself. And Kant said, give me all of the virtues, everything you can morally think of the highest regard, and I'll show you that all of them are good with contingencies. The only thing good without contingency is an intention to the moral law. What he meant by that is, if I'm acting courageous, where courage is a virtue, right? But you have a malevolent individual acting courageously, well, that's not going to be a moral act because it's coming from a malevolent intention. And he was very much about the intentions and not the consequences. So if heaven exists, well, the people that are granted access to heaven, wouldn't they necessarily need to act morally for the sake of morality itself, not for the sake of the reward of heaven? When I was listening to, I'm on Exodus now in the Bible. And we have God declaring to Moses the Ten Commandments, right? He's literally laying down the laws of man. And some atheists will look at that and they'll be like, why didn't he demand the abolition of slavery? Why didn't he demand all of these moral theories that we have now, that we look at slavery as being justly, inherently immoral, right? We look at that correctly as being inherently immoral, you know? So he's like, well, why didn't God put that in there? And then I listened to that. As I was listening to that, I was like, wait a minute. He's the Father. There are certain things that I will not tell my children because them doing it because I said so isn't the point. They need to figure that out on their own. Maybe slavery was something we needed to figure out as being abhorrently immoral on our own because of the myriad amount of lessons we learned on the way. Maybe as the right father who had the idea of, I'm going to tell you folks not to do these things because these are like the gravest of sins that should always be absolutely taken off. But there are graver sins that might be around that atmosphere or maybe below that atmosphere, hard to quantify. Maybe there are certain sins we need to figure out on our own. You know, because we need to learn the lessons on the way to those certain things. One of them is the divine characteristic of each individual person. You know, how Christianity would spread and go from the Judeo-Christian of Moses and his people into all people. You know, maybe in order to achieve that most noblest of ends and the highest form of morality, maybe this deity could not give us all the information because there are certain lessons we needed to learn on the way ourselves. That's what a good father does. The good father doesn't always give all the answers, even if they know it's right. There are certain things that the children must learn on their own in order to be good. And maybe that was one of them right there. Going back to Immanuel Kant and the discussion of heaven. You need to be unsure about the existence of heaven. Because heaven is rewarded to those who do the right thing regardless of the rewards that happen at the end of the day. You know, just something I've been bobbling around. Maybe like divine heuristics or something like that, where it's like it's a practical endeavor in morality, but geared towards the divine, geared towards the one. Also, that Copernican eye of deciphering morality right there as well. So yeah, something I think about, you know, in my leisure time.
Well, it might interest you to know that just a wee drive from here, there's another rumbling reactor.
Materia! Okay, I'm good. Everybody, back in the car. Let's go, go, go!
Well, couldn't hurt to check it out.
Oh, the analgesic nature of goal setting kicking in there. When you have a goal, you actually gain an analgesic response that you don't feel as much pain. You know, these people who are, you know, people who are like UFC and their goal is to like win the match, right? They feel less pain than somebody that doesn't have a goal.
We'll be pulling up outside that reactor before you can say Mako.
Kate Sith, join the party. Oh, I'm on the bubble. I'm on the buggy. We got Chocobo races, Musclehead Coliseum. We got a lot of backtracking, you know. And what are we at? We're at an hour.
So, what was up with that lucky food fortune? I mean, why mushrooms?
Well, this reactor's smack bang in the middle of a place famous for, you guessed it, the world's favorite fungi.
Ooh.
Mushrooms grow mirror reactive. Then I'll pass thanks.
Corel's divine sanctuaries contain knowledge of the summoned entity, Alexander. Long ago, a great but wicked nation prospered in Corel. Legend tells that it was wiped out overnight by a giant mechanical construct. A construct called Alexander.
It's pretty sick that we can like gather stuff by running it over. That's pretty cool. Whoa.
We are gonna check out that spring, right?
Oh man, this is the time to do a lot of backtracking, everyone. Ba-da-bum-bum. This is cool though. We got the buggy. So this is, yeah. Is this the Corel reactor? Chadley. Or is that where I'm supposed to be heading? Man, I feel so bad. Like I haven't been doing any of the side quests. Ooh.
Get ready, take it from here.
I'll show you what I can do.
Oh.
Okay. Get ready.
Come on.
Tagging out.
Nowhere to run.
So that's the way it's gonna be, huh? You can do it.
Great. So long. Allow me.
Landworm. Okay. I did try to move.
Well, that really sucked.
So,
Okay.
Fight through it.
so you have Blizzard. You do.
Calling ice. Gotcha.
There we go.
Going in.
There we go. Got red back too. Yeah, I'm reading a book right now on Biblical Ethics by David Jones. It's a pretty good book. I'm going to have to start taking notes on it because my mind isn't as sharp as it was when I was 30. I can't remember things as quickly, although it wasn't that good at remembering at 30 either. I had to have stacks of flashcards. That way I committed the short-term to the long-term memory.
Uh-oh. Sandstorm must have kicked up or something.
Yeah.
Call the buggy. Interesting. So if I'm over here and I press the boom, it'll just show up. Okay, good to know. I'm wondering if I can, how far I can backtrack, you know? Oh, that's a little, don't run them over. There we go.
This must be the sandstorm.
Oh, interesting.
Drawn was I to the warrior's presence, and lo, whither should it lead me but these sweltering sands?
What is this thing?
No way.
What misfortune for you to venture so far for treasure already claimed. You would do well to leave, that I may collect what is by rights mine.
You think the proto-relic is yours?
Proto what now? Relic, you say? Ha! A ridiculous name, unworthy of my treasure.
Interesting.
What you names covet is none other than a prize in my resplendent arsenal. Get... Uh-oh. Oh. This form... I can hold it no longer. Oh, down I go.
Okay. I was just going to the chocobo stop.
Oh, thank goodness I finally got through.
I'm fine. But what the hell was that just now?
I'm investigating the matter. In my initial analysis of the sand entity, I detected a I'm unsure how they're connected, but I feel...
Of course we are.
There's no telling where it might appear next. Please, be careful.
Well, it looks like it appears around a sandstorm, so... That's the gold saucer, right? Okay. I have that. Let me fix this. Wait, what, did I not hold it? There we go. Sure, why not? So, I think I'm actually going to take this time to do some backtracking. Well, let me make sure I can first. Let's see. Go to the map. Let's see. Can I zoom out farther than this? Junon Corral so far. So, what if I wanted to go back to the Junon region? Could I fast pass here? Fast pass. That's such a Disney term right there. Let's see. Ferry dock. So there's this, the Chocobo stop. Now, what I'm thinking is... Hey, buddy. He is cute. So I'm thinking is, how far can I go back? Or can I go back at all? Intel Chadley quest story. No, it's at the map. Okay, I can fast travel there. Fast travel there. Mount Corel. I can fast travel there. So it was before the Corel region, right? Yeah, here. And then I'll be able to move past from there. I can actually fast travel to this location too. Okay, yep. So this is the time. This is the time to do a lot of the side missions. And then I can move on with the story from there. So I guess a shorter video today, because I don't want to bother you folks with the backtracking. I might keep the what is that called? The 4X. I might keep that recording just in case I find something of interest. Or maybe I'll keep this recording if I find something of interest. But that'll be it for episode 11. I know it was a shorter stream today, but I feel like we discussed quite a bit. It's probably just because it's been so long, and I'm reading a bunch of interesting material right now, and I'm having a lot more of my own novel thoughts when it comes to morality and that bridge between science and religion. So I hope you folks enjoyed it. For those that tuned all the way in, and I will see you next time. And as usual, take some time with the classics because they'll awaken the hidden dragon within all of you. See you next time, everyone.